A warm greetings everyone. I am Vaishnavi Kilvekar from the first year batch 2023-25. I will present and explain the concept of Indriya PANCHAK. Reference of this concept is from Charak Samhita, Sutra Sthan, Chapter 8, Indriyopkramaniya Adhyaya. Sequence which will be followed throughout the presentation will be the explanation of the verse, followed by the explanation of the individual topics, lastly the summary and its applied aspects of the topic. So, let's get started. Pancha Indriya or the five senses. Here we will try to understand the five senses of the human body and see their detailed anatomy. Tatra chakshuhu shrotram ghranam rasanam sparshanam iti panchindriyani. In this verse, the Pancha Indriya or the five senses are named as Chakshu, Shrotram, Granam, Rasanam and Sparshan. In the next slide, let us see each of these senses in detail. Chakshu Indriya. It is the ocular sense in the humans. This Indriya helps in image perception. The prime organs which are related to this ocular sense are the eyes. The eyes forms the image on the retina and through which vision is perceived. Shrotra Indriya. This is the auditory sense in the human beings. This Indriya helps in the auditory perception. The sound waves travel through the middle ear and then the inner ear. Thus, the sound from the surroundings is perceived by this organ. Grana Indriya. It is the olfactory sense in the human body. This Indriya helps in smell perception. So, the smell from the surroundings is sent through the inferior turbinate, middle turbinate, superior turbinate to the cibriform plate of the ethmoid bone, and through this, the smell from the surroundings, whether it may be a pleasant smell or a very bad odor, is perceived. Rasan Indriya, the gustatory sense. This Indriya helps in the taste perception. So the tongue is the primary organ through which the gustatory sense is perceived. There are various papillae on the tongue, namely fungiform papillae and filiform papillae, through which the taste from the surroundings is perceived. The tongue has different parts through which different tastes are perceived. At the tip of the tongue, it is sweet taste. At the center portion of the tongue, it is the bitter taste. And on the edges, the tastes which are perceived is sour and salty. Sparshan Indriya. It is the tactile sense of the human body. This Indriya helps in the perception of touch. Skin is the largest organ of the human body, and so the tactile sense is perceived throughout the body. The sensations include coldness, warmth, the rough sensations, the smooth sensations, and the painful sensations which are caused by deep and shallow wounds. With this, we have completed the detailed study of all the five senses that are present in the human body. Pancha Indriya Dravya, five respective Mahabhutas. Our body are made up of five gross elements, and so each of the senses or the sense organs are dominated by each of the Mahabhutas. Pancha Indriya Dravyani Kham Vayur Jyotiraapo Bhuriti. This verse explains about the Pancha Indriya Dravya, which are Kham, that is Akash Mahabhut, Vayu Mahabhut, Jyoti, which is Agni Mahabhut, Apa, which is Jala Mahabhut, and Bhu, which is also called as Prithvi Mahabhut. The dominancy of these Pancha Mahabhutas are not only restricted to the sense organs or the Indriyas, but also they are present in different parts of the body as well. Let us describe the Kham Mahabhut, which is also known as the Akash Mahabhut, dominant in the Shrotra Indriya or the auditory sense, which helps in the perception of sound from the surroundings. Apart from Shrotra Indriya, Akash Mahabhut occupies the various body parts which are hollow and are of empty spaces. Vayu Mahabhut, which is dominant in the Sparsha Indriya or the tactile sense in the human body, which helps us to perceive the touch from the surroundings. Vayu, which is a formless entity in the surrounding and which can be felt by the touch itself. It is very essential for all the respiratory processes that takes place in the body. Jyoti Mahabhut. It is also called as the Agni Mahabhut and is dominant in the Chakshu Indriya. It helps in the perception of vision from the surroundings. The function of Agni is basically to convert complex substances into simpler ones. So being situated in the Chakshu Indriya, it absorbs the strong light rays and the vision which is perceived from the surroundings, converts it into the simpler ones, and through which the image is formed on the retina and we can see the vision or the objects clearly. Apart from being situated in the Chakshu Indriya, this Agni is also situated in the stomach of the human body, wherein the digestive processes takes place. The food is converted into simple soluble substances, wherein it can be absorbed through the body through the small intestines. Aap Mahabhut or the Jala Mahabhut, which is dominant in the Rasan Indriya or the gustatory sense, that helps to perceive the taste from the surroundings. So apart from being present in the Rasan Indriya, Jala Mahabhut is present in all the fluids of the human body. Bhu or Prithvi Mahabhut is nothing but the solid landmass which we term as earth. It is the element of the earth. It is dominant in the Grana Indriya or the olfactory sense. It helps to perceive smell from the surrounding. Apart from being present in the Grana Indriya, it is present in the other parts of the body that are very hard and rigid, such as the muscles, the tendons, and the bones. It has the presence of Prithvi Mahabhuta in them. With this, we have covered up the second topic of Pancha Indriya Dravya and its dominancy seen in each of the 5 Indriyas of the human body. Pancha Indriya Adhishtan or the 5 sense organs. All the 5 senses which are seen previously in the human body have their specific adhishtan or have their specific organs or sites which act as a medium through which the various 5 senses are perceived. Panchindriyadhishtanani Akshini Karno Nasiko Jiva Tvaka Cheti. This verse tells us about the 5 adhishtan or the 5 sense organs through which the senses are perceived. They are Akshini, which are the eyes, Karno, which are the ears, Nasiko, which are the nostrils of the nose, Jiva, which is the tongue, and lastly Tvaka, which is the skin. Akshini. The eyes are the sites of Chakshu Indriya, and Jyoti, that is Agni Mahabhut. These organs are the medium of perception of vision. Karno. The ears are the sites of Shrotra Indriya, and Kham, Akash Mahabhut. These organs are the medium for the perception of sound. Nasiko. The nose is the site of Grana Indriya, and Bhu, Prithvi Mahabhut. This organ is the medium for the perception of smell. Jiva. The tongue is the site of Rasan Indriya, and Aap, Jala Mahabhut. This organ is the medium of perception of taste. Tvaka. The skin is the site of Tvak Indriya, and Vayu, Mahabhut. This organ is the medium of perception of touch. And so we have seen all the physical organs that are related to the 5 Indriyas through which the senses are perceived. Pancha Indriya Artha, the five sense objects. So far we have come across the Pancha Indriya Dravya and Pancha Indriya Adhishthan. So Pancha Indriya Artha means the five sense objects which are perceived by the senses and the sense organs of the human body. Panchendriya Arthaha Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandhaha. This verse explains about the Pancha Indriya Artha, which are the five sense objects perceived by the sense organs, that are Shabda, sound, Sparsha, touch, Rupa, vision or the image, Rasa, taste, and Gandha, which is smell. Shabda. The object of sound is perceived by the ears. Sound can be of many types. It can be soft spoken sound, it can be a very loud sound. The ears are designed in such a manner through which this object of sound is perceived, and so we get the idea of what kind of a sound the surrounding is having. Sparsha. The object of touch is perceived by the skin. So skin, it is the largest organ of the body as described earlier, and there are many types of touches which are smooth, rough, the sensation of coldness, the sensation of hotness, and the painful sensations which are perceived by the skin. The skin thus acts as a medium of all these sensations. Rupa. The object of Rupa, meaning any image that is perceived by the eyes as seen by it. The eyes form the exact image on the retina, so we are able to see the external objects. Rasa. The object of taste is perceived by the tongue. Ayurveda mentions 6 rasas, which are Madhur, which is sweet, Amla, which is sour, Lavan, which is salty, Katu, which is pungent, Tiktha, which is bitter, and Kashai, which is astringent. All these 6 tastes are perceived by the tongue itself. Gandha. The object of smell is perceived by the nose. Gandha can be of two types. It can be Sugandha, meaning pleasant smell, or it can be Durgandha, which is unpleasant smell. So the nose is functioned in such a way that it gives the perception of both good as well as the bad smell. With this, we have also covered up with the topic of Pancha Indriya Artha, and we have seen all the 5 arthas or all the 5 sense objects. Pancha Indriya Buddhi, 5 sense perceptions. Now let us study the physiology of each and every organ and see how each and every sense organ perceives the sense object. Panchendriya Buddhayah Chakshurbuddhyadika ta Punari Indriya Indriyartha Sattvatma Sannikarshja Kshanika Nishchayatmakascha Ityetat Pancha Panchakam. Now all the previously seen verses along with this verse forms the exact definition of Indriya Pancha Panchakam. This verse tells us that there are 5 Indriya Buddhi, which are mainly Chakshu Indriya Buddhi, Shrotra Indriya Buddhi, Sparshan Indriya Buddhi, Rasan Indriya Buddhi, Ghrana Indriya Buddhi. Pancha Indriya Buddhi are nothing but the intellectuality present in the human body. These 5 types of intellectuality, along with the Indriya and the Indriya Artha, form an inseparable pathway with the Sattva and the Atma. Here Sattva is the mind and Atma is the consciousness which is present in the mind, and each and every second this inseparable pathway is functioning very well. Further, let us study about each and every buddhi or the intellectuality in detail. Now let Let us understand Indriya Panchak with the help of this flowchart. If there are actions to be made or if there is anything to be perceived by the Indriya, first Indriya Buddhi of the Atma will send the signals to the Mana. The Mana will send the signals to the Indriya, then the Indriya in the dominance of its respective Mahabhuta with the Indriya Adhishthan will grasp or perceive the Indriya Artha. In this way, all the senses are perceived by the human body. Further, let us study about each Indriya Buddhi or each intellectuality of the human body. Shrotra Buddhi or the auditory intellectuality. Here, this intellectuality is achieved by the auditory nerve, which sends the signals to the hindbrain, then the midbrain, and then the forebrain, and hence we can identify different types of sounds. Sparshan Buddhi or tactile intellectuality. If there is any external stimulus made on the skin, then the various receptors on the skin send the signals through primary afferent neurons. Through these neurons, the signals are sent to the brain through spinothalamic tract. In the brain, all the cognitive activities are taken place. In this way, the brain signals the skin of what kind of external stimuli it is. This is the mechanism of a quick reflex arc which is present in humans. Chakshu Buddhi or sight intellectuality. Now here the eyes perceive the vision from the surroundings, and these sensations are sent through the optic nerve, and through the optic tract the sensations are further passed on in the left and right visual cortex of the brain, and the brain signals the eyes as to what kind of a vision it is, and hence in this way the vision is perceived by a person. Rasan Buddhi, gustatory intellectuality. The primary perception of taste is taken place through the tongue, but the secondary perception of what kind of a taste it is made through facial nerve and glossopharyngeal nerve, wherein the signals are sent in the medulla oblongata to the thalamus in the gustatory cortex, and the brain signals the tongue as to what kind of a taste it has perceived, and hence in this way gustatory intellectuality is achieved. Ghrana Buddhi or olfactory intellectuality. Now the smell which enters the nostrils in the nasal passage, there are various olfactory receptors present in the nasal passage which send the signals to the olfactory bulb via the cribriform plate. These sensations are sent in the amygdala, a part of the hindbrain, and then to the thalamus, and from the thalamus these sensations are sent into the orbitofrontal cortex, and in this way olfactory intellectuality is achieved. Now we have done a detailed study of each and every intellectuality or the Pancha Indriya Buddhi. This chart will help us understand and summarize all the components of Indriya Panchak as discussed everything previously. Defects of auditory sense. The auditory sense of a person slowly decreases with the age, and there are external factors also which affect the hearing of the person. It may be due to any accident or it may be a severe damage to the eardrum. Even listening to loud voices or loud noises can damage the eardrum, which may lead to the loss of auditory sense. Defects of tactile sense. This defect is seen in the skin due to numbness, wherein the skin receptors are unable to identify what kind of a stimulus they get from the surrounding. Defects of the sight. The first defect is cataract, which is an age-related defect, wherein a cloudy layer forms in front of the iris and through which the vision of a person is hindered. This defect can be corrected with the help of surgeries. The second are the vision defects in the eyeball. In the normal vision, the image is formed on the retina and a normal vision is perceived. But in the cases of myopia, the image is formed in front of the retina In the cases of hypermetropia or hyperopia, the image is formed behind the retina, and in case of astigmatism, the vision is very much distorted in the retina. These defects can be corrected with the use of special lenses that will help in the correction of the vision of the person. Defects of gustatory sense. On the tongue, there can be formation of blisters, there can be formation of ulcers, there can be formation of boils, which will hinder the perception of taste. Defects of olfactory sense. Now, the nose is not able to perceive the smell from the external surrounding in cases of cold because the nasal passage is filled with mucus, and hence the olfactory receptors cannot identify what kind of a smell it is getting from the surroundings. And the sudden loss in the perception of smell in its medical terms is known as a condition of anosmia. Hoping that the concept of Indriya PANCHAK was very well understood, I hereby conclude with my presentation. Thank you.